Hey, welcome to The Journey. I'm your host, Dan Kinjorski, and the other host is
Krystal.
Barbosa. Krystal, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Okay. Hey, listen, I understand that you and your husband are writing and producing a book. What is that?
Correct.
Tell us a little more about that.
Yeah, we're making some books about autism, and it's about a little wolf named Liam Loop, and it kind of goes through his stages of development as well as the struggles that someone with autism might expect to struggle with.
Oh, okay. When will it be out?
Next April.
How can they follow you and your husband?
So you can follow us through Spectrum Publishing. It is one of our special websites, our YouTube channel, spectrumpublishing.com, and it's basically going to show us following little Liam Loop throughout different adventures that he goes through and all the struggles that a kid has with autism when they go out in public or they have a change in their routine.
Yes, so please go ahead and follow and subscribe to
spectrumpublishers.com.
And follow us at The Journey and subscribe to us at Pathfinder Media Group as well as The Journey. We appreciate that very much. Hey, Krystal, we're going to be looking at crystals. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
We're going to be looking at Erikson's psychosocial stages of development.
Yes.
Okay? And the first stage of development we're going to look at today is the first stage, and that is trust versus mistrust, which begins at birth and goes up to 18 months to 24 months. Birth to about age 2.
Correct.
Trust versus mistrust. Go ahead and tell us a little more about that.
So with Erikson, his biggest thing about the trust and mistrust stage is the fact that it slowly develops, and it develops from its surroundings. So parents kind of help mold this stage in the infant's life. The surroundings, depending on if they're familiar, if they're hostile, these are different things that can form and shape our child.
That's right. So really, it depends on how we as parents help our children during those first 2 years of birth to 2 years.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is the mother or the father there when they cry out? Okay, when they cry out for hungry, or are they going to continually cry for 5 to 10 minutes?
Yeah.
You know, those are the things. That's just one example of how we can build trust versus mistrust in our children. We want to build trust, obviously. A major question is for the baby, and they're not thinking this, but this is what's happening. This is what's developing. The baby learns if they can trust the people around them in this stage, right? And like I said, I know I mentioned crying, but an important event during this period of time is feeding. Is the parent there when they're hungry, when they cry out for food?
Yeah.
What's been your experience? You have how many children?
I have 5 total, 3 that came from me.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
No. So
we
you have
have
a
a
blended home, and you gave birth to 3 children. So you know a little bit about this, being there when they cry out when they're hungry for food,
those
right?
first couple years when you are their whole entire GPS of the world. You tell them what's going to come up, how to react to it, and kind of you're their
Right.
I guess the best way to describe it that I like to describe it is you're kind of like their what do you call it when you go to Rome and you get somebody who shows you, like, this is Rome, welcome.
You're a tour
You're
guide.
a tour guide. There we go. That's the word
guide.
I'm trying to get.
Right.
You're a tour guide to the world. You know, you've lived it, you've experienced it, but your child has no idea what the sights or sounds or any of it means. And so you are their tour guide into this is safe. I'm here to protect you. When you need me, I'll be there. But yeah, you're their tour guide to the world.
Okay. So the importance of trust, just off the top of your head, what is the importance of trust for you? How can you...
For me or as an infant?
Well, yeah, as an infant.
As an infant, the trust will tell me that I'm safe, that when I need something, it will be taken care of immediately, and that I don't have to have fear that I'm not alone.
Okay, what about as a parent?
As a parent with trust?
Yes.
Trust towards my child, I would feel that my child can trust me, that, that I'm there for them all the time as they are requesting me. But yeah.
Okay. So a parent essentially shapes the child's perception as a tour guide, right?
Yeah.
Perception and future relationships.
Yeah.
So if the child is, if there is um, uh, not a degrading of the trust between a parent and a child,
Yeah.
then that means that child may grow up having problems in future relationships.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So what I like, and this is something I do, maybe because I'm a therapist and a mother, but quite often I think of our own patients, our own clients that we see, and the first thing that we often do is we look back to their childhood. We look back to their upbringing.
Right.
And so when I think of my own children as they age through each developmental stage, I think, what during this stage could they bring to therapy in the future?
Right.
And one thing I try really hard is to build that trust. I build it even with my 11-year-old. I'm constantly working on building that trust that when they need somebody, they can run back to the parent.
Right. So when we, as an adult or as a counselor, when we see adults that have trust issues, a lot of it has to do with their first 2 years, more than likely.
Oh, yeah. A lot of them have to do with those core years, definitely.
Yeah. So we like to go back and we use this, for us, we use the ACEs, the Adverse Childhood Experiences, and we find out what it was like for them as children living in the household they lived in.
Yeah, and I like the ACEs thing because it covers all areas, all facades of what could possibly happen during our younger ages, our young age.
Right.
And it can be from anything from being abused to, seeing things that you probably shouldn't have seen at a young age.
Or neglected. Things like that.
Yeah.
So to build trust, and trust means believing in caregivers, right? Trusting that the world is safe, and knowing that needs will be met. Now, we need to, as parents, we need to show, or we need to make the environment a safe place for our children, so they can know that the world is safe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What does that look like, or what has that looked like for you in a sense? Give us an example.
So it's a very young age, and I wouldn't say maybe 2, but as soon as you're able to talk with your children, one thing that I try to do, and I quite often do, is I remind them, if you ever have anything you need to talk about, I'm here. Hey, when they do open up, you always remind them, thank you so much for sharing that.
Right.
And just making the environment between you and your child very open and welcoming.
All right, that's important. So trust is believing in your caregivers, your parents. Trust is that the world is safe, and it's knowing that your needs will be met. Okay, and I think consistency is important.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Consistent feeding times, that sort of thing.
Yeah, you want that consistency because with that consistency is going to build that trust. I know I can rely on my mom or my dad to answer my cries.
Right, and mistrust is distrusting caregivers. What is an example that parents can give to the kids that will make them distrust us?
So one big thing for mistrust, especially at this age, is not getting their cries attained to. So quite often we find, and this is because I did a lot of research on this, we find that when infants cry and they're not met with it, eventually they'll start calming themselves, but they won't rely on the adults.
Wow.
They'll start self-soothing, and in some way they'll even be sad. They'll feel very depressed at a very young age. You can have depression signs at a young age. You can have anxiety. And to be a 2-year-old with depression, anxiety, not knowing what to do with it, you have all these emotions.
Right.
So that's why it's so important to have that trust that, okay, I know I'm going to get my milk or my baby food when I cry. I know I'm going to have it, rather than them becoming depressed and isolated, because that's exactly just like an adult would feel. They start feeling the exact same symptoms, but in a tiny little body without the ability to regulate.
Right. It mistrust also means fearing the world. Right.
Yeah.
And, let me ask you something. What is it that parents do that make children fear the world?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. What is it that we do that make children fear the world?
Yeah, I guess you got to be careful of how you say things. I know a lot of times how I say things depending on my reaction. You know, we can react in a different way. And so being really mindful of how we speak, how we look at things, because our children are always there. So, you know, if we go across a certain population or we go across a certain situation that might make us feel uncomfortable, remind ourselves that our children are watching us.
Right.
So we have to show them the comfort, like, okay, this might be a new place, but it's okay. I have you. I'm here with you. We're okay.
Right.
You know, because just like locations and people, they can all become frightening and scary if we're not familiar with them.
Right. Let me, you know, what I've come to realize is that in today's world, a lot of people use technology as babysitters.
Oh, yeah.
It used to be TV was the babysitter.
Yeah.
But now this thing,
Phone. Oh,
the
yeah.
phone or the tablet has
yeah.
become the babysitter.
Oh, yeah.
Can we build trust with technology?
With technology?
Can we? I mean,
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, hey.
It's hard to build anything with somebody when you're not having those conversations. You have to have that humanistic aspect of connection.
See, that's important because when we're doing this, we're not having a conversation.
No.
When the kids are on the tablet,
there's no connection.
There's no connection, right? I know I have the privilege, and I hope I still have the privilege to be with 2 out of our 4 granddaughters, hopefully for a little bit, you know, this year, the school year, if not the whole school year. We don't know exactly. We don't know. But the point is, what I've noticed is that their parents do not use technology a whole lot.
Yeah.
I've been able to witness my 2 granddaughters, a 6 and a 3-year-old, playing and using their imagination.
Good.
You know,
Good.
you know, they're out there playing, and it's just funny to just watch. I watched them, and they have that, you know, the plastic pool, not the, you know, 2-foot pool, but the plastic one, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that maybe a foot deep or whatever.
Yeah.
The grands will do. They'll stand in the water and do cannonball, and they'll jump up and land on their knees, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. I can't do that cannonball. They land right on their knees, and they'll run and they jump, and you know, they're playing and using their imagination. You can't do that with technology.
No.
You can't do that with, you know. They have toys and they play with the toys, you know, and
that's actually really good, and that's another form of building trust with your environment.
Right.
That's something that a lot of our young generation is losing, is that trust of the environment, because they're not familiar with it.
Right.
You know, we have kids who are scared to go in the grass or the woods.
Right.
You know, and that's something that, I mean, I used to climb trees all the time.
Wow.
But nowadays, like, they're scared to go out. I don't want to go outside, you know? No,
Right.
go outside and play in the dirt,
Yeah.
and build some trust in the world.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and, you know, the thing is that they do get some tech. I mean, you know, some tube time in terms of the TV and stuff like that, but it's very managed.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, 24/7 or once they get home, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So mistrust, distrusting caregivers, fearing the world, unsure that their needs will be met.
Yeah, that's a lot of fear right there.
Yeah, a lot of fear. So, you know, if you have an autistic child, what is the best thing that you can say to the parents that are watching with an autistic child? And
when they're struggling with their trust?
Trust versus mistrust. What can you give advice to?
Yeah, and so this would go with any child. It doesn't matter if they have autism. The biggest thing is just being there and showing that you're there.
Okay.
If your child is nonverbal, our biggest thing is show, you know, nonverbal cues. You can hug, you can kiss, you can show a picture of a mom and a dad, you know, a mom and a son hugging and kissing. Just show affection. I'm here for you. And more than anything, reading those nonverbal cues, a lot of times, especially with their nonverbals, they'll show that fear in their face. And observing it and acting on it. Oh, you look scared. It's okay. I'm here.
Right.
Again, showing that, acting it, and talking about it more than anything with your child, and showing them that, you know, this is a safe place. I'm here to make sure that you're safe. And with autistic kids, of course, A big thing with trust is telling them beforehand, ahead of time, hey, we're going to be going to a different location. We're going to be meeting some new people.
Right.
And that will also help with anxiety.
Ah, yes. Thank you for sharing that, because that's a different perspective.
Oh, yeah.
You know, to build the trust, we need to be very affectionate with our children. We need to comfort them when they need comfort, and we need to provide for their needs, especially when it comes to dinner and meals and so forth.
Yeah.
Some of the consequences of mistrust is, again, you said something about being depressed. If there isn't a lot of course we're talking, I got to stay within this stage.
Yeah.
We're talking about trust versus mistrust, and we'll get into the second stage at the next journey.
Yeah.
Next journey episode. But consequences of building mistrust is being depressed, being socially disengaged.
Yeah. They don't know how to deal with people.
Right.
They've never been taught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be suspicious of others.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and experience loneliness, face peer rejection, and make short-sighted decisions.
Yeah.
That's some of the consequences of mistrust. I remember one time where about a year or two ago, one of my granddaughters was visiting, and you know, military child, always moving around, things like that. Were you a military child?
I was.
So you were always moving around. And there was something that she did that really broke my heart. She didn't do it. She didn't do anything wrong, but it broke my heart because I seen adults even do this. We were next door visiting with a neighbor there about her age, maybe a year older, year young, something like that, about her age. And we did some connection there. But she came back in the house, and she's 6 now, so she was maybe 4 at the time.
Aww.
And she came in the house, and we had a little post in the middle of the room, you know, I forgot what you call them, but a little post. She sat down, leaned back, and pulled her feet up and went like this, hugged her legs, and went down like this. And it almost broke my heart.
Yeah.
I didn't want her to be sad or anything, you know. So I'm very cognizant, and I think we need to learn the body language of our kids, even up to age 2.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if you see your child do something like that, or if you see your child look sad, interact with them.
Oh, yeah. Even at age 2, a lot of times people think that 2-year-olds they're not cognitive enough to have those conversations with. But you don't have to have a lengthy conversation. You can just show them with your actions, you know.
Yeah.
I love you. I'm here for you. Be there when they're crying, things like that.
Yeah. Over trusting. What does that look like for a 2-year-old?
For a 2-year-old?
Yeah.
That would be my 11-year-old. My 11-year-old was very over trusting. I have a great story. We were at Walmart, and he must have been 2.5 years old, and all of a sudden I'm holding his hand, and then he's not holding his hand, and he's walking with another lady in Walmart. He didn't care if you were his mom or not. If you were a nice lady, he would grab your hand and just start walking with you.
Yeah.
He was very over trusting. He loved everybody. Everybody was a friend to him, and that was a scary thing because he would literally go with a stranger. Yeah. So that would be a good example of over trusting.
Yeah.
Because it can get scary. They don't know their limits. You
Yeah.
got to know who to trust and who not to trust because sadly there are bad people in the world.
Reminds me, of course, you got. I don't know if this is a result of over trusting or not, but I heard the story of a 2-year-old granddaughter who was in a German marketplace, not a restaurant, but in a grocery store, and she was right beside, her mother, my daughter. I hope I don't get in trouble for sharing this, and but. My wife and the oldest granddaughter were in the store shopping or doing some things. Daughter was paying for something. All of a sudden she looked down and she was gone. Well, the 2-year-old was just running around laughing, enjoying life in the store. And
of course.
And my wife saw her and said, and called her name, and she laughed and was running. Of course, they found her. I don't know if that was a result of mistrust, but it was a result of a happy 2-year-old who just likes to run around and
felt very safe. I could tell that.
Yeah, felt very. I mean, that's a kudos to our daughter and our son-in-law for that,
and for you guys for letting your daughter feel so safe in a public place. Yeah.
Well, we hope so.
Yeah, obviously she felt very safe.
Yeah.
Maybe too safe.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about our granddaughter.
Yeah, your granddaughter.
Yeah. I was hoping. Well, I hope our daughter gives us some kudos in that respect when we raised her. But anyway, kudos to our daughter because she feels safe. Yeah. Except you can't have a 2-year-old running around.
Oh, I know.
And that wasn't my daughter's fault. It's just our granddaughter she's the type A personality where she's
everywhere.
She'll run around the house waving her hands, crazy. She's just fun to be with. And our daughter, her oldest sister too, is fun to be with. To see them enjoy life and to play together. So again, I want to just follow up, and we'll end with this, and that is the idea of some ways to show our children that to be more trusting, I suppose, and that is to show compassion. Yeah. Right? Showing yourself and others compassion and understanding may be helpful in improving trust. So showing compassion towards yourself and towards your child will improve trust. Being mindful. Being mindful of your thought process. Mindful of your thoughts can teach you how to feel your emotions without judging your emotions. Yeah. And that's, we need to be able to process that too as well, and to process feelings. How do you process feelings? Tell me about that as a therapist and as a therapist and as a person that has processed before. How do you process feelings and thoughts?
I've gone through a lot of therapy myself, and I still see therapists myself. But processing your feelings is just kind of sitting with your emotions. You can journal, you can talk to a therapist, obviously. Right. But really just sitting in your emotions and however you feel comfortable and thinking, why do I feel this way? Does it make sense? Yeah. Yeah. So just sitting in your emotions sometimes is a good thing, though. Right.
All right. And then consider your environment. Make your environment safe, safe as possible for your children. So trust versus mistrust stage is basically foundational to human development, brain development, and so forth. Remember, your child is from firstborn or the day they're born to this stage is about 2 years old. Trust versus mistrust. We hope you enjoyed this episode of The Journey. Next week, we'll go to stage 2 of Erikson's psychosocial stages of development. Okay?
All right.
Thank you for being with us.
Bye.
Bye-bye.